Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, coming from the beach. I feel like I got my beach hair. Actually, I do. So let's see what's happening here. Hey everybody, welcome. Welcome to Tuesday Talks. I'm Lisa Mehta from Metamorfize.com. I'm a mind mastery coach and breathwork practitioner. So everything I do is about helping you navigate your mind, turning your inner critic into your inner coach, breathing life into your next level, expanding to that edge, and then a little bit more, and breathing out your abundance. What's up? If you're here, say hi to me. I got my sparkles. If you're on Instagram, feeling sparkly today, I got my pink, staring right at the ocean. Amazing. What? Life is good. Life is good. So who's here? Let me see. What's up? Oh, hi. Hi. All right. So every Tuesday I come on here and I talk about a topic. I happen to be inside of a little flow that I'm doing right now. So we've been looking at taking inventory and our thoughts and a perspective shifting. Today is what I'm calling pivot practice. So this is all about, well, pivoting, going from where you are to where you want to go. And that process, that turn, this is actually what I realize, this is where I catch people in the work that I do. Most of the people that come to work with me are very aware that they want to leave something that was old or not working for them and pivot into their next whatever it is, their vision that you have. And we're all clear about where we want to go. Well, we're either very clear about what we don't want and we keep focusing on it, which in my world, it's better to just keep focusing on where you want to go than where you have been, because your mind doesn't know the difference between those thoughts of, I don't want that, I don't want to do this anymore. It's only hearing that thing versus, I'm so excited, even though I'm afraid, but I'm so excited to see about creating this in my life. So I was like really quick defining. I went and defined pivot. I went to look at the definition because I was like, well, actually, I do that a lot. I make sure that my definition of it is mine versus anyone in my family or society or religion or anything like that. But in this case, I just wanted to see, so pivot, the central point, the pin, or the shaft on which a mechanism turns or oscillates, the center point. So pivoting is all about looking at, imagining, all your old stories are on the left. Your old stories, your thoughts, your habits, your behaviors. It's your past. Or it's the current past, but it's there. It's like, it's all the way on the left. And then there comes a time in your life, we all feel it, we just don't always do anything about it. And then that's when we feel stuck, is when we start to feel the pull to change and to evolve. But then if we don't take action, it's almost like this mental whiplash. That's what I call it. This mental whiplash that you get because you're just going back and forth because you feel this indecision, this undecided versus like, all right, I'm going to make a plan. I'm going to start the pivot. So you're going to turn to your future, to your next level, to who you are creating yourself to be. And it's important that you make this turn mindfully, because this is where we start turning and all of these things start coming up that are just a normal part of the pivot, but we see them as, oh no, it's not working, or oh no, what's going on? And then we're like, go back. I don't like that. I don't know what's over there, so I'm just not going to do it. Versus understanding that inside this pivot, there are just things like feelings and natural occurrences like resistance, like our relationship with the unknown, like what it feels like to have to either let go of an old identity and say goodbye to the who am I without that. Because, I think that's the scary piece, is that sometimes we get really hooked onto an identity, a previous identity, and it holds us hostage to the new one. And that, I'd like to think of it that you're bringing with you, you need to be mindful about what it is that you need to bring with you to this next version of yourself, and let go of the things that aren't serving you, or at least for a moment put them down so you can get through the pivot. So it takes persistency and consistency to get through the pivot. And the more mindful you are about, like, I'm going through a pivot right now, then you can be like, oh yeah, this is going to be hard. I'm going to have to stick with it. I'm personally going through a pivot right now. And actually, I wrote my newsletter this week was all about how I am literally mirroring my system, my RISE system, the one that is the 90-day program that's coming up in March. I will be leading there's a curriculum. And I just found myself here in Mexico like, oh my God, I'm inside of my own curriculum, and I'm literally inside of the pivot right now. And I'm like, okay, yeah, this is interesting. And so the newsletter was all about, like, have you ever found yourself practicing what you teach? And so I've been really mindful about this pivot, and I'm just watching myself want to turn back to an old. And I'm just like, no, for me to grow and for me to evolve and to become what I say I'm telling myself I want to become, I'm going to have to stick with this pivot. That means sometimes there's this feeling that what felt once right is a little bit wrong right now. It's almost like you're just like kind of moving through something that's, it's gonna even itself out. It's gonna feel right again. It's just like, so anyway, the more you can become aware of that and hold steady as you begin to pivot. And you don't need to do it fast. In fact, the slower you go, the more you can really actually start to enjoy it. There's an idea. So I've been enjoying it. I had a few pivots. This is a big one I'm going through right now here, but getting to Mexico was a pivot. That one was so hard. Oh my God, you guys. That one felt like, literally, it's called the terror barrier. I felt like I was going to die. That decision of like leaving the old me, my apartment, my little New York life, that I like kept saying to myself, no. You're not really fully happy here. You're not fully embracing something that you want to feel, something that is out there for you. But I was exactly that. But this, but that, but this person, but what about this? What are they going to think? Blah, blah, blah. And then finally, it came to decision-making moment. And I decided to trust the unknown thought. And the unknown is more known than it seems, and we're going to get to that next week. But I decided to trust something that I couldn't fully see or grasp, but I knew. And it's vague, and that's why it feels so terrifying sometimes. That's why they call it the terror barrier, because you literally feel like you're going to die when you make that decision. But that's another thing. The more you're aware, the more I was aware of, like, you know what? I'm going through this terror barrier right now. I almost was like, oh my God, this is so funny how scary something can be. Like the way that my mind was creating. Idita! Hi, you're beautiful. Your food's beautiful. You're beautiful. Your clothes are beautiful. Come eat something with me over here. You would love it, all the fresh vegetables and fruit. So pivoting is actually a self-care gift. Pivoting is that you're allowing yourself to change. Because think about it. If you don't do the pivot, you're staying stuck. Or it's not always stuck, but you're staying where you are. Which kind of is stuck, because we are humans and we want to naturally evolve. And, there are the way that, if you go to my website, I break down change. You can change with two different ways. You change from the lack, I need to fix myself, or you change because you love yourself and you know that evolving and becoming your best self is just a journey of self-inquiry. And that's actually exactly what we do in the RISE program, is that I just teach you a repeatable a program, method, curriculum, system, whatever you want to call it, to change and evolve with grace and ease, so that, because I can't, like, the ocean is a big teacher for me. The waves are going to keep coming. I can't stop the waves, but I can help you ride them. I can help you enjoy them. And that doesn't mean you're not going to get smacked down once in a while. We all do. And then there's lessons in that too. And that's why I'm really having the most profound experience here by the ocean. And it's definitely, now that I got through the terror barrier and made my pivot, I'm realizing, wow, what's always on the other side of those big decisions is the equal and opposite. What? Like, it's like the same, oh shit, I'm scared pile of like, holy crap, has its equal and opposite energetic, yeah, I freaking did it. That's life, and the pivot moment is in between. Maybe you've heard me say in my other things, I repeat myself a lot sometimes, but we only know balance, we only know center because of its two polarities. So the pivot point is your moment in between. It's a decision-making moment to decide to go from who you were to who you are creating, who are you becoming. So, look, there's a time when you need to look at the past, take all your lessons, live it out, relive it, all that. I've done it. I've relived my traumas. I've had my moments. And then there's a time you look at it and you go, thank you for all your lessons. I so appreciate like everything that I have previously done. I forgive the things I need to forgive. And then it's nice if you can really look to the past instead of like, I gotta get out of here and like, fuck this and like bleh, and like all that. Sorry for the language. But the law of sacrifice states that you must give up something of lower value for something of higher value. So this pivot is you making a declaration in your life that your value has increased, that you're ready to make a stand and take a make a declaration that the lower valued way of living, not that it was bad, it just brought you to the edge of change. It brought you to this edge. I've been doing this analogy and metaphor and visual for a while, for like the last few months now, where it's like all the previous versions of yourself are just there behind you. They got your back, and you're just unzipping this next one and you're stepping out. Yeah, and that step out is hard. And don't they say in nature, like I think with a chick and other animals, that they must actually push through. Like if you crack the egg to help the chick come out, that chick has a very low chance of survival because there is the strength it needs and the whole episode it's having inside to push through to get out in from egg to air. Same thing with the childbirth. I mean, that mother's helping obviously on that one, but butterfly, I think, cocoon. If they don't use the strength to get out, then they can't fly. Wow. Nature is my guru. Let me check my time here. Okay. So let me see. Where are we? So yeah, it's time to turn the other way. Oh yeah, I was going to share like a quick little like an exercise, because I thought, cheers to Pivoting, Laura. Thanks for being here. So this exercise is super simple. Hey everyone on Facebook. I just re-looked at Facebook. I was like, oh, there's a bunch of people here. Say hi to me. What's up? Hey Leslie, we're pivoting. About face. Okay, but this is what I'm going to say about that exercise is that it's super simple. Like basically identify, like look to your past, stand up and turn and look over there. And every morning be just conscious and turn. Just make literally an about face. And go from like, bye, not eating healthy, or thank you body for bringing me here. You can keep it in the positive. Thank you so much body for bringing me to this moment, and now I pivot and I make healthy choices. And then face the direction Then step 2, once you just do this for like a week or two, then start walking. Just start making a step, conscious step, like, oh, I'm walking into and towards the next vision of who I am. So, all right. So then there's that moment. Yeah, there's that moment that you turn. You decide that the past is just a series of moments leading you right here to this moment. And there's going to be many more of these moments, which is why in Rise and in all the work I do, I teach you how to move through this. Not just one-time thing like, here, let me hold your hand and get you through. No. You have to learn and honor everything that has brought you here to this moment so that you can do this over and over again into the next version, the next version, the next version of yourself. So I would love to hear anyone's thoughts on pivoting, what pivoting has been like in your life. Are you conscious of the times that you're pivoting? Do you know them from like a small little micro moments to the big macro pivots? So for those of you still here hanging with me on Facebook, Leslie, Laura, you want to give me a number? Let's pick a card here for pivoting. The pivot, we should just maybe go to the center of the deck. We'll see. I'm going to do 3 of these, and then if there's no number here, I'm literally going to go to the center of the deck. Pivoting. This is the Osho Zen Tarot deck. I love it. It's super amazing, and I use it a lot. I do readings. I think this has been a huge teacher for me, this deck, and so has Osho. I spent 6 months in India on his ashram or near his ashram. 8, gotcha. You got it, Leslie. Here we go, 8. Okay, I'm cutting here, and here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ooh. Oh, I'm so glad we got this. Okay, integration. Because, and I'll get you in a minute, Laura, with the 5. Okay. Integration is so important after you pivot. Because, well, integration is always important, but it's so important that when you're like collecting parts of yourself and you're making big changes in your life, that you also enjoy the integration phase. This is the part of us that we're like, you know, we keep wanting to change and evolve, and it's like, wait, also enjoy that things can just come together, and this is maybe the space of being. I love this card. This is also about the masculine and the feminine. So actually, integration could also be seen, because we're talking about pivot, is when all of the polarities come together in this card. So like, this is when you're at perfect harmony, perfect balance, which I don't actually exist, that you're in balance and then you stay there. But that moment where you're literally like dancing with the masculine and feminine, the eagle and the swan, the parts of your body, the yin and the yang. Oh my God, the snake that has the, you know, he's eating his own tail, because as something starts, ends, begins, starts, ends, cycles. And so you're like constantly learning. And that's the whole thing I'm talking about in the pivot, is that this cycle right here, you can't see the rest of it, but the way part of this snake, that is the symbolism of this, is that everything's a cycle. You know, we know it sometimes when it's bad, like there's an addiction cycle that you follow, but there's also a evolving and how to grow and be in personal health. And that's what Rise is all about, because you learn how to move through it, and you then start to expect the resistance. You expect the self-doubt, and you start to see like, oh wait, I'm afraid right now? You mean fear is my guide showing me where to go next? Because I'm not afraid of fear anymore, because I'm using it, because it's helping me illuminate the fact that I'm growing. And that was the biggest one for me, is when I started to use fear as my guide, not as the thing that was taking me down anymore. That was so exhausting. So integration, booyah, I love it, especially because also pulls it all together. I don't know about you, but as a creative, I lived with like a lot of different parts of me always being activated. Like I was over here, I was always, I would say I was like look at the people jealous, I was going to say, but I use jealousy as a way to show me what I want more of in my life. But I would see people who like always found that one thing they were really good at and they followed it for their whole life career. And I was like, I'm so confused. I'm always doing so many things. And then I realized one day it's all going to come together because all those things are a part of me. And they were all coming together. And actually the work that I'm doing right now is because I have pivoted in alignment with all of my gifts. Okay, Laura, this is for you real quick. Try to keep this under 20, so we're a little bit over. If you're still here, here you go. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, fighting. Yes, well, this is the thing. And again, in relation to pivoting. This is actually fighting in your mind when you're white knuckling something, because this is that part of you that's like, I just want to stay into my old, I don't want to leave the old identity. And then we start to get this battle here with yourself versus it's going to happen anyway. Tell me what you relate to that. And Leslie, you wrote yes to integrations at perfect timing with the new relationship and where I am right now. Yeah, you are integrating so much, Leslie. Oh my gosh. And such a champ. And you do it so smoothly. And you did it fast. And so that takes skills to stay in the communication level. And Laura, let me know how definitely fighting my comfort. Oh yeah, and you're going to see, you're in the 30 days to change. So you've been moving through. All of that comes up when we just, the fighting of ourselves. I have an art piece that says mind games with myself, who wins? I mean, you're right, because you're right. And fighting, let go. Yeah, the white knuckling and all the armor. Nobody can get in. Okay, everybody. Love you so much. Thank you for being here. If you're interested in the Rise program, it's filling up. I'm so excited. Because it is an integration for me, and it's a huge pivot that I'm able to teach this work, and I'm so happy that people are getting so much out of it. So I will see you next Tuesday for Tuesday Talks, and if you need me or need to find me, there's links going to be everywhere. And if you want to talk about Rise and be one of the 14 people in that, it starts March 14th, and we are going to rise together. All right, one love, everybody. Take care. Bye.